Hello friends, vinyl community, music lovers. Welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Survivor. This is where I take 5 albums that are new to me, clean them up, give them a listen, and let you know what I thought of them, let you know whether they're going to go up there in the collection or whether they're going away out the door there. So let's just go ahead and get into it. First thing we have here is the soundtrack to the TV show Miami Vice from 1985, I believe, 84, 85, somewhere in there. Find a date, 1985, yes. Of course, the classic, wildly popular TV show, sort of the first TV show to take on sort of the MTV idea where the TV show would feature a new song, a new pop song every week. They would make it actually part of the show. Really cool idea. Really happens to be one of my favorite shows. I know people think it's kind of cheesy, but I really like Miami Vice a lot. So of course you have the instrumental classic title track by Jan Hammer. Miami Vice theme opened every show. Very electronic, synthy, rhythmic sound. Really cool song. You Belong to the City, In the Air Tonight, Phil Collins. Probably one of the first featuring of a hip-hop song in a TV show. You got Vice by Grandmaster Melly Mel. Tina Turner, Better Be Good to Me. Several more Jan Hammer instrumental tracks. And this is just a classic soundtrack. One I am very happy to have on vinyl. The first cassette I ever owned was this soundtrack. One year for Christmas, my grandfather got me a cassette, Walkman style cassette player, and this soundtrack. It was likely the Christmas of '85. It was right around the time when this was really big. Very happy to have this on vinyl. I found this at the library sale. I believe it was 50 cents. And this is on MCA Records. We have a Precision SM in the dead wax. So this was mastered by Stephen Markison at Precision. What is it here? Precision Lacquer. Haven't heard much about Stephen Markison, so I don't know if he's any good. But this also has the barbell with the G in it in the dead wax. So this is pressed at the Gloversville pressing MCA pressing plant. So yeah, that's the Miami Vice soundtrack. Pretty much a classic. Not real hard to find. When I first found this, it was the first time I had seen it in the wild, so I was really excited, and I've seen it several more times since then. If you grew up in the 80s and enjoy Miami Vice, this is definitely a must-have, and this one will be going into my collection. Okay, next thing we have here on the chopping block is from 1986. This is the 20th studio album from Elton John, titled Leather Jackets. And Leather Jackets was the last album Elton John did before his throat surgery. He was definitely going through a rough period in his life. He said he was doing a lot of cocaine. He was in a marriage that he wasn't happy in, of course, and just not doing very well. There was no hits at all on this album. Anywhere at all, not in the UK, not in the US. Overall, not a very good album from Elton John. I do like one track on here called Go It Alone. It has a very sort of a synthy sound with some fuzzy guitar on it by Davy Johnstone. I actually do like that song quite a bit. The rest of the album is very sort of lackluster, not very good. Here is the inner sleeve. And it's a Geffen Records black label this time. So yeah, overall not a great Elton John album. This one is going to be staying in the collection just because I do really love Elton John, and I do like the song Go It Alone. It's a good track. This is an album I would probably put on if I wanted to put on an Elton John album and not hear something that I've heard a million times. Most Elton John albums have that one or two songs on there that were huge hits, and you just heard them over and over and over again, and it's can be kind of grating at times. But this is one you can put on where you've probably never heard any of the songs on this album before. So this is one you can put on, and it's kind of fresh sounding. that if you check out one song from this album, I recommend checking out Go It Alone. Good song. Okay, next up, moving way back, we're going way back into the 50s and 60s here. We have a compilation album from Pete Seeger, another one. This is just from the Archive of Folk Music, sort of a company that did compilations of different folk artists. And this happens to be the one they did for Pete Seeger. But it has some quite interesting tracks on here, some things I don't have in other places. So I thought I would keep this one. It's a nice copy. Unfortunately, it is electronically stereotized, so it's not too bad. It sounds okay. And there is the Everest Records label. So yeah, this is the Archive of Folk Music was one of those companies that was known for taking sort of out-of-print 78 recordings and transferring them to LP. So these are sort of 78s that have been transferred. Like I said, the sound is pretty good. It's okay, but overall, it's not bad. And like I said, these are hard to find tracks. I'm not one that's going to go collect 78s. I don't have anything to play them on. I don't really care for the way they sound, so I'm not going to invest the time in trying to get a setup to play them. To have a few of these tracks just to hear now and then, it's pretty cool. So this one's going in the collection. This was $1.75 from the library sale. A little bit expensive, but a nice compilation of hard to find Pete Seeger recordings. Alright, the next thing we have today is another soundtrack. This is the soundtrack to the Disney movie Fantasia, and this is when they did the re-release in, what was it, 82? And of course, you know, Fantasia is probably a lot of children's first introduction into classical music. It features a lot of very popular classical pieces. Buena Vista Records. So yeah, just a nice soundtrack recording of the music from Fantasia. Like I said, a lot of very well-known classical pieces. Toccata and Fugue in D minor, and Night on Bald Mountain, and you know, a lot of stuff like that. So this is a really nice copy and a really interesting listen, and I'm going to be keeping this for the collection. Let's see, this is kind of an expensive one again, $3 at the library sale. Kind of expensive for the library sale anyway. But that's a nice Disney piece, and definitely glad to have this in the collection. Okay, and last up on the chopping block today, we have the 12th studio album from the band Fleetwood Mac. This is Tusk from 1979, the follow-up to Rumors. This was a double LP. Definitely an interesting album. Definitely a very different sound from Rumors. It seems like each person in the group took on a couple of songs on the album, and it's sort of mixed up on the album. So each track is from a different person, basically. It has sort of these weird inner sleeves here. Get these inner sleeves, and then these sort of go together, and then there's another inner sleeve. Side 2, and then you got these. Looks like this. And then there's another inner, triple inner sort of thing here. So some very odd, kind of frustrating packaging. I don't use those anyway. This is on a Warner Brothers Records, sort of a custom label. And overall, I did enjoy Tusk. I thought it was a pretty good album. I mostly preferred the Stevie Nicks tracks on here. Like I said, each band member sort of took on a few of the tracks on the album, and it's sort of evenly distributed. Stevie Nicks has tracks, Lindsey Buckingham has tracks, Christine McVie has tracks, and it's just sort of spread out. But yeah, a neat album. Not as good to me as Rumors, but definitely has some good moments on it, and definitely something that is worthy of being in my collection. I don't know if I talked about this, but this is another. I think all the albums today are from the library sale. This one was $2. Fleetwood Mac's Tusk. All 5 albums made it into the collection today. I want to thank you for watching another episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. Give me a thumbs up if you would. And we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.